I am Lieutenant Jake Hogan from Dallas, Texas. I want to say a quick hello to my wife Amanda back home and my two kids, Carter and Alex. And to the Green Bay Packers, keep up the winning and go Pack.
All right, welcome back. Fox Sports salutes Veterans Day. We are thrilled and honored to have a live studio audience of veterans and their friends and family who will be with us throughout the day. Time now for Darnell's question of the day. Thank you guys for joining us. Darnell, what you... Oh.
Look at that. Homecoming wave. Look at
My question. Beauty pageant.
I know, right.
Hey. His biggest NFL matchups where the Cowboys host the Vikings at Jerry World Sunday night. The game's a showdown of two quarterbacks, Dak Prescott and Kirk Cousins, who are trying to prove their doubters wrong. Both of these guys are having solid seasons and have similar numbers, with Kirk trying to earn the big contract Minnesota gave him, while Dak is trying to convince Jerry Jones he deserves a new deal. Gotta ask you guys, who would you go with, Cousins or Dak?
Look, I'm all about the money. Kirk Cousins is signed to a now reasonable contract of $28 million a year. I'm going with Kirk Cousins. Dak Prescott wants $35, $40 million a year. I got to go with the guy at a more affordable price, Kirk Cousins.
Get what you pay for. That's what Mama used to say. Baby, you should pay for a little more, because if you pay down, you're going to be right back in this situation unhappy with your results. Kirk Cousins, 5-25 versus teams with winning records. Lord. Dak Prescott, second most wins since he's been in the league. I'm paying for that guy, and I want to get maximum value, and I might have to pay maximum price. But Dak Prescott's a winner, and he has the moxie. Don't forget who he was. He came in and took over for Tony Romo, who was basically doing it all for this franchise. A franchise quarterback, Teflon to a degree. And then this guy comes in and inserts himself in his performance and his leadership and stabilizes this franchise. Oh, it's not even close. It's Dak Prescott.
When you look at the two and every number across the board, Dak leads over Kirk. So that's one component of it. You know, this year he makes 7% of what Kirk Cousins is going to make. But and I know we're talking about the next contract, but in looking at that next contract, it's not just about the player, it's about the human being. And the people that I know in Dallas can't say enough good things about him. And these are friends and people that I trust who would tell the truth, and they talk about his relationship with the other players, his work ethic, his drive, his consistency, the way that he's able to balance things out. And to me, that gives him a chance to continue to get better. And that's what you're looking for. I think that the issue with Kirk is he was essentially let go by Washington. They let him walk into free agency, and there were reportedly issues there, and there's been some discontent in Minnesota as well. So you wonder where that's all going to play out. And then there's the question of how well does he perform in big games? And that hasn't been answered, even though the contract question for him has been answered.
Oh, to answer your question, I'm taking Dakota Prescott. That is no question about it. And you bring up the money a lot, but when Kirk Cousins signed his contract, he was at the head of the class.
When
he, and so when Dak signs his contract, he'll be somewhere towards the top, and then he'll fall somewhere in the middle. That's just how it works. Right. When you pay your quarterbacks to win and lead, in my opinion. And Dak Prescott, he's winning games, and he leads the team. When you're a player on that team, if you don't like the quarterback, he does anything wrong, it's going to be a problem. You're going to go to your position group and other guys on the team, and you're going to talk about him. You're going to talk about him. But he's the quarterback, so you kind of got to be careful. But when you become a player that the coach can't do anything to, now you're going to talk to the quarterback. And that's going to be a problem. And if Dak Prescott, like Coach said, has a locker room, guys gravitate towards him, they'll always, whether he plays good or bad, they'll always have his back. And that goes a long way to keeping a team stable and having them functioning the right way.
It's when a quarterback is making as little money as Dak and providing that kind of value, they're always popular in the locker room. It's when they get paid is when people start coming out how they really feel. Donovan McNabb went through this in Philadelphia, and T.O. and some guys undercut him. Things got worse, in my view, for Russell Wilson in Seattle once he started making some money. Dak's a value pack right now, and everybody loves him. I get it. It's awesome. But he's about to get paid, and Again, I understand that Kirk Cousins is going through some turbulence there in Minnesota, and I get the receivers have taken some shots at him or whatever, and Stephon Diggs damn near wanted out of there. I was always against paying Kirk Cousins in Washington. I'm very consistent. Don't overpay these guys that aren't superstars. And so I just think, for me, Kirk Cousins at $28 million right now, a better value than Dak Prescott at $35, $40 million next season.
But TJ's point is it's not a fair comparison. You're looking at one guy who's in the middle of his deal, and you're looking at another guy who's
life isn't fair, Eric.
No, I'm not saying it's unfair that way. I'm saying that your evaluation is skewed completely wrong.
Yeah.
Because you can't look at a guy in the middle of a deal and equate it to a guy who's gonna hit free agency. It's not apples to apples.
I'll say this, Eric. If you had come up with the question, you're right. But since I did, we're going to deal with the fact.
Flawed question.
The question is, this guy's about to get paid a bunch of money.
I'm gonna go with the question of right now. He makes 7% of what Kirk Cousins makes.
Hello.
So as
What's going to happen
a
Sunday
bargain,
night? Who's going to play better Sunday night?
You already know.
I think
We do?
Who would you bet on? Yeah,
I'm betting on the Vikings.
What's the grow you now?
Yes, I am.
Come on.
Yes.
Uh-oh.
So you're going to play those odds in his record in primetime games?
I've been saying it all week. I've been saying it all week. Yes, Minnesota's going to put it on Dallas.
We've been on a roll lately with our picks together, but this one we got to disagree on.
Y'all hit 2 picks out of 237,000 picks, and y'all on a roll. The last 2, and y'all on the roll right now. Hey, look, you remind me of my grandma when we used to go to church. And my grandma used to always tell me, baby, the love of money is the root of all evil. And I was like, okay. And that's what it is in completion from the Bible. But then you get to church and somebody else walk up to you and say, money is the root of all evil. And you're like, wait a minute, it's incomplete. You just said something that was incomplete. You said you get paid and it's a problem. That's not the problem in the locker room. When you get paid and you underperform, it's a problem. When has Dak Prescott ever underperformed? Let me tell you. I'm looking. I don't see it. He's a winning quarterback.
Jets?
37 and... Oh, my God.
Okay,
37 and 19 versus 26 and 30.
Hey, Donovan McNabb was balling out.
And Donovan McNabb was not a problem until they finally said, look, how many NFC championship games and 1 Super Bowl can we get to when you're making that much?
Hey.
So then it starts to become a problem because it's the underperformance of expectation.
Do you think Dak is at Donovan McNabb's level?
No, I'm not going there. Don't do that.
Well.
But what? Oh, wait a minute. Now, you 2 bad questions.
He
now.
can
What
get,
does that
he
have
can
to do
get
with
to
it?
that and past that.
He really can.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, my.
Win a Super Bowl with a winning record?
But I'm just saying, are we going to compare McNabb's salary to what they're doing now?
You look at where Dak is at compared to McNabb. In his 4th year, he's still climbing.
He's still climbing.
He's climbing.
This is his best
he
Dak
can reach
we've
it.
seen.
Yes.
Can you respect the intangibles, which is lending itself to him getting better
Y'all put
every
me
year?
in a position of I just think Dak's horrible. I don't. I just don't want to pay him $35 million. $28, $29 million, and we'd be having a totally different discussion. If they were paid
33?
equally... No. $28, $29 million right there with Kirk Cousins.
How you gonna get less
we
than
would be
Carson?
having a different... I'll take
Less
that.
than Carson Wentz?
No, the same as Kirk Cousins. They're the same guy.
But he signed a contract
that's less
3
than Carson
years
Wentz.
ago.
I don't care. I'm not overpaying for my quarterback. I'm not. I want to be in the same situation as Tom Brady and the New England Patriots. I want to be, until last night, Derek Carr and the Oakland Raiders. I want to, unless it's Patrick Mahomes or Aaron Rodgers, or Russell Wilson or Deshaun Watson.
Here we go.
I don't want to be overpaying.
and Tom Brady was the highest paid quarterback at one time. So what were you saying then?
He deserved it.
He deserved it.
He won Super Bowl.
He won the Super Bowl last year. He deserved it
As
now.
Coach would say, that defense carried him initially, right?
Early on.
Yes.
I mean, he
Yes,
deserves
early on.
He deserves all the money.
Well, here's the other thing about Tom Brady. He does take less than market
Blue Star
value.
Families builds communities that support military families by connecting research and data to programs and solutions, including career development tools, local community events for families, and caregiver support. With Blue Star Families, military families can find answers to their challenges anywhere they are. For more information, visit www.bluestarfam.org.
Being in a new place can be extremely scary.
It is so challenging to explain to an employer why you've been missing from employment. I came to the point where I had to choose between family and my active duty career.
Support to a military family from a community is a huge requirement for us.
Military families are kind of unique in their own right. Blue Star families